Minnesota Vikings have a muy grande Julio at left guard in one Pat Elflein, where, hey, I'll be fully honest, I was on board with him. It's like, oh, this is what the Buckeye needs. He just needs to be moved from center to left guard where he doesn't have 350-pound garlic-smelling nose tackles all up in his face. And then he went to left guard, and he was bad there too. So it didn't quite work out. But the question is, do you trust the Vikings to fix that hole in the offensive line? Because everything comes back to the offensive line. It's like, oh, the running game got going, which is great, except Kirk Cousins was under duress for a large part of the season. Kirk Cousins can't be great. Kirk Cousins can't win a Super Bowl without the offensive line because he's the only Vikings quarterback since 2014 where you actually blame the offensive line. It's never Kirk Cousins' fault, but I digress there. But yeah, the offensive line is an issue, notably left guard. So do you trust the Vikings to fix the problema this offseason? So they got a couple options. We'll go through the gauntlet of options of who could be in that starting left guard spot come week one. But also, remember back, the Vikings had a left guard problem last year too. Because remember 2018, the longtime reign of Tom Compton at left guard, LG, and then Mike Remmers at right guard. That didn't work out. Yeah, that 1 year, one and done. So remember, the Vikings had holes at both guard spots last year. Josh Klein came in at the right guard spot, sort of a second wave free agent, decent sized contract. Actually worked out pretty well when he was on the field. So Vikings are batting 500. I mean, that will get you in the Hall of Fame. It's not bad. Suck it, Ted Williams. There you go. Is Ted Williams' head frozen, or is that Walt Disney, or is that both of them? Really doesn't matter. Anyways, fixing the left guard spot. So I think the worst possible scenario for the Vikings is if Pat Elflein is your week one starter at left guard, where the Vikings and notably the Zimmer regime has been criticized for being stubborn, being a little bit obtuse, being a little bit loyal to a fault. And I think that would clearly be all three of those cases if Pat Elflein remains your starting left guard. Now, don't get me wrong. The new CBA does allow for players to improve from year to year, but what exactly have we seen from Pat Elflein? We've seen some flashes, respect where it's due. But first 3 years, he's heading into a contract year, by the way. First 3 seasons, what have we seen that screams, hey, you got Stu going, baby, we're going to turn this around. He's going to be the best option week 1, 2020. Not a whole lot. So the first and easiest one, the first one that's going to be coming up on the calendar is free agency. And yeah, once you get to free agency, it is all about the toy section. And of course, you're like a kid in Toys R Us back when that was a thing back in the day. Sorry, kids. And you go for the big ticket items right away. You go for the Nintendo 64. It's like, oh, don't worry, it's March now, but this can count as my Christmas present. Yeah. So look at the Joe Thuneys of the world, who's going to get top dollar as one of the best free agent guards out there. I think he'd be a great scheme fit here as well. Brandon Scherf, of course, probably a little bit bigger name than Thuney, but also I think Thuney is probably more the safer bet, even though they're probably going to command similar dollars, maybe Scherf a little bit more. Scherf has been dealing with some health issues the last 2 years, but also I think that his ceiling is a lot higher than Thuney's, but also I think his floor could be a lot lower. And also, I do have a little bit of concern about Thuney in that, is it Dante Scarnecchia, the longtime, the best offensive line coaches in NFL history? Was it part of him? Was it part of the scheme? Was it part of Tom Brady and his exquisite pocket awareness and just being able to slide? Is that really propping him up? Could certainly be a thing. Number 2, so this one's a little bit outside the box. Free agency, but also Riley Reiff at guard. Now, I've laid out a couple scenarios in some of these recent videos where if the Vikings either sign up a left tackle in free agency, whether it be Russell Okung after the Chargers let him go, or Andrew Whitworth or Anthony Costanzo, if they sign them up, make the money work, and then they want to roll with Riley Reiff for one more year, just kick him down to left guard, even though last offseason he talked about, he ain't about that life. Well, if you're about that life for $12 million, you'll take the money and shut up. So certainly could be a spot there. And also this fits too. If the Vikings are somehow very #blessed to land a left tackle project of the future, whether it be Thomas from USC or Josh Jones or Mekhi Becton somehow falls all the way down there, or Wilfs, I don't think he's going to fall, or Wills from Alabama somehow falls, and then I think he does project to be an NFL left tackle. If the kid shows enough right away that you're comfortable having him start a left guard, start a left tackle, then kick Riley Reiff down to left guard as opposed to vice versa, roll with it. Who cares? Either way, that's a much larger improvement than Pat Elflein. Method number 3. What about Drew Samia? Yeah. Well, what about Drew Samia, the fourth-round pick out of Oklahoma last year? Basically got redshirted, didn't get the time of day until Week 17, the exhibition game against the Bears. But I still really like that kid coming in. He's got a lot of nasty to him. I think he brings an attitude as well as a lot of skill and a lot of size to the interior offensive line for the Vikings. And I sort of understand why he didn't get the time day early on. Maybe he wasn't ready for sure. We're not in all those practices, but also, the Zim regime outside of first and second round picks are notoriously hard on rookies, unless you're Olabisi Johnson. But also year 2 could be a big move for him. So if they just go in straight up with Elflein versus Samia for left guard, wouldn't be really down with that. I much prefer a free agent option and or a draft option there. But if Samia wins the job, he wins the job. Lastly, of course, is the draft. And we laid out already is that if you take your left tackle of the future, want to hang on to Riley Reef for one more year, kick that kid into left guard, as most of them do have the ability to do, and just go there. Love that option, as well as in the draft, like a Jonah Jackson, Ohio State. I really like his game. I think he'd be a perfect scheme fit here for the Vikings. So you have to invest a relatively early pick on him. So there's lots of options. I think that the worst possible scenario would be if the Vikings just stand pat. Good to Pat Elflein. If that happens, cancel the season. It's all over. Bottom line, there is no excuse. And there are many, many options on the table for the Vikings to improve that 1 weak spot on the offensive line. But what are your thoughts? Pat Elflein, who's going to be his replacement? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. But the next time, Skull, production value.